Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah, yeah. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah, yeah. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we are on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we are on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 hey. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Everybody, get up on your feet. Come on now. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, hey, hey. All right, everybody say good morning. And this is my friend Dennis, and we woke him up at like 6 this morning to come play. Thanks, Dennis. All right. Okay. And we're 1,000 miles of comfort. We have traveled down the sea, but as long as you are with me, there's no place I'd rather be. I would wait forever, exalted in the sea, as long as I am with you. My heart continues to beat. With every step we take, Kyoto to the bay, strolling so casually. We're different and the same, give you another name, switch up the battery. If you gave me a chance, I would take it. It's a shot in the dark, but I'll make it. Knowing all of your heart, you can't shame me. When I am with you, there's no place I'd rather be. No, 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 no. No place I'd rather be. No, 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 no. No place I'd rather be. No, 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 no. No place I'd rather be. When I am with you, there's no place I'd rather be. As we stake out on this mission to find our inner peace, make it everlasting, so nothing is incomplete. Easy being with you, sacred simplicity. As long as we're together, no place I'd rather be. With every step we take, Kyoto to the bay, strolling so casually. We're different and the same, give you another name, switch up the battery. If you gave me a chance, I would take it. It's the shot in the dark, but I'll make it. Knowing all of your heart, you shame me. When I am with you, there's no place I'd rather be. No, no, place I'd rather be. No, 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 no. No place I'd rather be. No, 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 no. No place I'd rather be. When I am with you, there's no place I'd rather be. When I am with you, there's no place I'd rather be. When I am with you, there's no place I'd rather be.
I love it when we get to do that song. I love it. Loves that song. All right, Miawen Omonemim. Neto, Reverend Jeffrey Ryan. We here at Riverside Center for Spiritual Living acknowledge that we gather on the ancestral lands of the Kwaia, Gabrielino Tongva, Kizh, and Luiseño peoples. We commit to live in right relations, to love our neighbors, to seek justice and loving kindness, and to walk humbly upon this land. We recognize our oneness so that we may decolonize our minds and set each other free from the pain of racism and violence, to live better as God intended, in harmony with nature and with one another. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It is great to be here in Riverside at Riverside Center for Spiritual Living. Yes? Yes, absolutely. Let's say hi to some of our friends who are joining us online this morning. Good morning to Mom and Dad. Aloha kakahiaka to Casey and Coco joining us in Oregon, and aloha kakahiaka to Wayne in Hawaii. Good morning to Earl and Denise and Patty Clark. Good morning. Good morning, Laura Lopez, John and Lupe Marie. And good morning to Corey as well. Great to have all of you joining us. Great to have all of you joining us here in the sanctuary as well. I do realize that we may have a few people missing because they're worshiping at the Church of SoFi this afternoon. But we realize that that service doesn't start until 3:30, right? So there's no reason why we can't do both. So yeah. And you know what? We have tailgating here too. It just happens after the fact, and instead of beers and brats, it looks like cookies and coffee. But you know, hey. So it's great to have all of you joining us here this morning. What a glorious day it is, even though it's going to be 90 degrees today.
Oh my God.
Woo! Except it's February 13th, so I don't know about that, but yay! So it's all good, right? It's just the weather. This too shall pass. It's okay. I'm not going to get my panties all tied up in a bunch for it. It'll be okay. Later on this week, it'll be back in the 60s and 70s. So yay. So, and we're starting to smell fruit trees blossoming and that kind of stuff. So, it's all good. So, I'm winded from dancing. I'm just like...
We have Dennis today. You get to dance again because we got...
Yeah, here we go. And Ray's there as well. So it's like, wow. Good morning to Chester and tomorrow. All right, so let's dance a little bit more, shall we? Okay. All right, here we go. Singing our love out into the world. Let's go for it.
3 I sing my love, I sing my love, I sing my love into the world. I sing my love, I sing my love, I sing my love into the world. I sing my love, I sing my love, I sing my love into the world. I sing my love, I sing my love, I sing my love into the world. I dance my joy, I dance my joy, I dance my joy into the world. I dance my joy, I dance my joy, I dance my joy into the world. I dance my joy, I dance my joy, I dance my joy into the world. I dance my joy, I dance my joy, I dance my joy into the world. I live my peace, I live my peace, I live my peace into the world. I live my peace, I live my peace, I live my peace into the world. I live my peace, I live my peace, I live my peace into the world. I live my my peace. I live my peace. I live my peace into the world. One more time, I sing my love. I sing my love. I sing my love. I sing my love into the world. I sing my love. I sing my love. I sing my love into the world. Woo-hoo.
Good morning. I'm Constance Stringfellow, one of the licensed spiritual practitioners here at the Riverside Center for Spiritual Living. Jeannie Kati Oker and I will be available for a brief moment of prayer in the prayer room in the lobby. So please don't leave here this morning with anything on your heart. We love to pray, and we absolutely know that prayer works. So please allow the music to take you into the silence, followed by this morning's invocation.
In the silence there is peace. In the silence there is unspoken joy. In the silence there's release. From a world full of chaos and noise. So I wake for these precious moments when I hear all that could never be said. And right here in this holy silence, I find God. I find myself. In the silence there is peace. In the silence there is unspoken joy. In the silence there's release. From a world full of chaos and noise. Oh, I wait for these precious moments when I hear all that can never be said. And right here in this holy silence, I find God. I find God. I find myself.
Please join me in consciousness this morning. I invite you to close your eyes if this is comfortable for you. Moving into the heart space, taking in a deep, intentional breath, breathing in love and breathing out love. As this is the month for love, let's breathe in the name of love, releasing anything that is unlike love, allowing love to be the essence of who we are, calling upon this one power in every moment, breathing into the awareness that we are one with the one. I know that God is all there is, and God is love. In the silence, in this inner sanctuary, divine spirit is all-knowing. It is perfect peace. It is joy unspeakable. It is order and clarity. It's beauty and compassion. It's the voice of truth. It's deep faith, infinite supply. But God is so much more than this. I know that we are one with this creative expression of God, one with the one with love. Today and every day, let's choose to focus on this power of love, the essence and purpose of our very being, the energy that guides us to our highest good, the I am. The I am is the very being directing every action, even if we can't even see it. When the world seems to be out of balance, when fear, conditions, or circumstances seem to block our joy and happiness, trust in this omnipresence, the power breathing us, knowing that it's greater than any fear, any condition, and its circumstances. Believe and affirm. Live in the awareness that we're one with the one with love, now and always. Breathe it in. I bless this service today in our church family, everyone listening. And I know that this service unfolds in perfect divine order, and I just let it be so. And so it is.
Here I am, use me now. Do your will, speak your word, touch the weak, heal the word. I am love, I am love. All along, I have known I'm the branch, you're the tree. There's no want, there's no need. Intertwined, heart and soul aligned. I know you by name. Beloved one, nothing can ever come between us. You are all I've ever known. You're the lover of my soul, Holy One. How you fill my every thought. Everything in me is you. Everything in me is truth, beloved one. You lift me up and I let go. There is no fear where I stand. Holy ground is where I am. Look at what you've made, strong and brave. You call me by name, beloved one. Nothing will ever come between us. You are all I've ever known. You're the lover of my soul, Holy One. How you fill my every thought. Everything in me is you. Everything in me is truth, beloved one. between us. You are all I've ever known. You're the lover of my soul, Holy One. How you fill my every thought. Everything in me is you. Everything in me is truth. Beloved one, nothing can ever come between us. Everything in me is you. Everything is truth, beloved one. Whoa.
One of these days, I'm just going to send that off to Denise and let her hear it.
I'm her biggest fan, so she'll be like, oh my goodness, the stalker girl.
Fantastic. Thank you. All right. So we're talking about the inner life this month. That is the theme for the month, is living everyday wonder in inner life. So with inner life, let's do the focus statement this morning with L's for life, shall we? And L's for love, perhaps. So I want to thank Jeannie for that lovely meditation this morning. And I want to thank Constance for her lovely invocation this morning as well. So thank you both. So let's do this with all the L's, shall we? So we're going to do it with love. We're going to do it with life. What else are we going to do this with? Laughter, living, lusciousness, luminosity, light. All right, here we go. All right. We embolden people to live their highest potential through the transformative power of love. Yes. All right. So as I mentioned here at Centers for Spiritual Living Worldwide, this year we are working with the theme of living everyday wonder. And each month we are looking at a different aspect of our lives and how we can live our lives, our everyday lives, with wonder and in wonder, in joy, in awe and beauty and magnificence and glory. So we know that we show up every day, right? We woke up, so we're here. Okay. So we have the opportunity to practice being in wonder in our everyday lives, because that's the only place where we ever occupy is our everyday life. The only place we ever occupy is the eternal now, is this now moment. We don't occupy yesterday. We don't occupy tomorrow. We only occupy right here and right now. So this month we are looking at inner life, our inner life. And last week we talked about recognizing and seeing the divine in ourselves. The question was, can I see the divine in me? Can I recognize that the who of who I am is spirit, is the divine, is love, is joy? Can I recognize that? Can I see that in myself? And then when I can recognize that and see that in myself, then it is easier for me to recognize it and see that in the world around me, in the beloveds around me. Yeah? Yeah. So today we are talking about the ultimate fear buster. It just sounded like a cool title today anyway, just because it kind of has that Super Bowl Sunday, the ultimate fear buster, right? It has that kind of like kind of sound to it, even though it has nothing to do with Super Bowl, right? But it just has that kind of the ultimate fear buster. So what is the ultimate fear buster? We'll get to that in a moment. First, we got to talk about fear. Everyone's like, oh, God, really? Can't we just skip to the good part? All right, so let's talk about fear, shall we? So fear really boils down to, when we distill it all down, we come into the world before we arrive. Buddhist teacher Charlotte Joko Beck says that before we arrive, right, and we're in the womb, and for the most part, that experience for us is a pleasant one. All of our needs are met, right? It's warm, it's comfy. We get food, we get nourishment, we get water, everything that we need is being met. And then, we eliminate as well, and everything is fine. We live in this perfect little, lovely, encapsulated deliciousness where all is well. And then we're born. And then all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, my every need is not being met right this minute. In fact, I'm a little cold. I'm going to let you know about it. And I'm hungry. And I'm dirty. Because what is this? What is this experience? I just left something very warm and cozy and comfy. And now, what is this? What is this? I don't understand. And so we begin to, in our very nascent way, that very early time frame, we begin to feel, we're a little separate. We're a little dependent on somebody else, and my need isn't being met. And how am I going to get my need met? I don't know. And so I get upset. I get disturbed, and I express that disturbance. I express that upset. And oh, wait, when I do that, what happens? A need is met. Let me try that again. Right? Interesting. And then as we get a little bit older, we come to realize, or we come to believe, there's this belief that somehow we're separate. We're now separate from that environment that we left, and we're separate from the environment around us, and we're interacting with the environment around us, and we're interacting with these big creatures around us, and these fuzzy creatures, and these furry creatures, and these feathered creatures, and these scaly creatures, and crunchy creatures, and whatever else. And we're interacting. It's like, they're separate from us. And I'm now having to be in relationship with this, and I'm still needing to get my needs met, but yet it seems like they have needs too that they also need met. And And so what we develop is this, what Joko calls is the core belief that we are separate from one another, that we are apart from, that there is another power other than the one power. We begin to believe that this environment around me has power, these people have power, the animals, the environment, whatever else has power. And I'm now in relationship to that power, that there is a power other than the one power, the one spirit, the one infinite eternal, that there's a separate power. And, this power in here, in this realm now that I'm navigating, is pretty capricious. It likes things, it doesn't like things. It expresses its joy, it expresses its displeasure. Because these folks are also navigating their own sense of what? Separation. A belief in two powers. And so we buy into what is called the core belief, that somehow we are separate, that somehow we are separate from the divine, that somehow we are separate from one another. And in that separateness, and in our wanting to have our needs met, we begin our basic coping mechanism. We develop core strategies, our basic strategies, and our strategies look differently. Like for some, the crying works. Hey, I'm going to throw a temper tantrum. Mom wants me to shut up. Hello. Right? And so it becomes a coping mechanism, or it becomes a coping strategy, or maybe that coping strategy doesn't work, and instead I get negative feedback, in which case then I learn perhaps that maybe I should be quiet. Maybe I shouldn't speak up. And if I just go with the flow and I'm just quiet, then my needs get met. Because I'm not disturbing, I'm not causing the great disturbance. So we begin to adapt, we begin to shift our behavior, and we develop these coping strategies, or the basic strategy. And the basic strategy is really to see about trying to get the needs met, because we don't understand that we aren't separate. We've come to believe that we are separate. So what fear is then, beloveds, fear is any expression of that feeling of separation. Fear is that feeling separate. Fear is that believing that there is another power other than the one power. It's a false belief in power. And so that's where we hear Michael Beckwith talk about false evidence appearing real. Because it's not really real. We are really one with all. We're really one with Spirit. That is the very nature of who we are. That we are inseparable from it. But in this time and space, in this experience, we are feeling separate. We are buying into that false evidence that appears very real to us. It appears very, very real to us. And so this fear feels like sadness. This fear feels like not enoughness. This fear might feel like unworthiness. This fear may then begin to express as anger. This fear may begin to express then as rage. This fear may begin to express as violence. This fear may also begin to express as withdrawal, with hiding, pulling back, pulling away. This fear begins to express itself in different ways, and pretty soon we've got a pattern rooted in, based in fear that allows us to navigate the world that which we find ourselves. And so then we're just surfing these waves to avoid the fear, to avoid the separation, to avoid feeling like I'm not worthy, I'm not enough, I'm not lovable. Breathe. It's okay. We're not going to hang out here. But it's important to know where this comes from. Because it shows up, and we develop these strategies, and these strategies work for a while. But the older we get, the strategies don't necessarily work as well as what they used to. There's other things coming in and new ways that we have to adapt. It's like, okay, this strategy doesn't work here. All right, so let me employ a different strategy instead. But yet sometimes there is that core strategy. There's that basic strategy that we've gotten imprinted, that we've adopted, that continues to run our life, and then we continue to experience the effects of the belief and the effects of our core strategy or our basic strategy. So what's operating in you right now? How are you hearing this? Fear. Your fears are up? Yeah. Can we get out of this? Yeah? You think so? Of course we can. The title is The Ultimate Fear Buster, after all. Right? Of course we can. So if fear is one emotion or fear is one experience, then what is the other experience? The other experience is love. And we talk about it all the time. Love lives here. We talk about love, that through the powerful, transformative power of love, right, is how we realize our highest potential. We talk about that. And, at the very end of service, we do our affirmation, we do our statement of love, right? Something wonderful is happening through me. It's this thing called love. Y'all there? All right. Checking. So, if love is all there is, what is love? Love is the divine. Love is the action and activity of the divine. Michelle has a shirt on. She didn't know what we were talking about this morning, but she has a shirt on that says, love is an action word, right? So love is the power of the divine, is the presence of the divine. The divine is love. Love is the divine. And what do we know? Spirit is all there is. God is all there is. Joy is all there is. Love is all there is. There could be nothing else other than love. And what we also know is that love is unconditional. It is without condition. It does not withhold anything. Love is the ever-givingness of spirit, as Ernest Holmes defines it. It is the ever-givingness of spirit. It is forever giving of itself, forever expressing itself, forever sharing itself, forever being itself. Love. There's nothing withholding. There's no withholding. There's no hoarding. There's no lack. There's no limitation. There's nothing like this. There's no constriction in love. Love is forever open and expanding and sharing. And guess what? If love is all there is, then who are we? Love. What could we only be made of? Love, right? What is the totality of our being? Love is the totality of our being. What is our truest essence, our truest nature? Love. Love being another word for the divine. Love being another word for God. That is who we are. So if we have forgotten who we are, then we experience fear. But when we remember who we are, we experience love. So the ultimate fear buster then is to remember, come back to our true self, to come back to our wholeness, come back to the very essence of who we are, is to remember that we are love. And what is our purpose here? To be love, to express love, to share love, to give love, to receive love, to move love forward. Because where does love live? Here. Love lives here. We're never separate from it. So the song this morning, Beloved One, we're never separate from love. We're never separate from the one life, the one infinite eternal presence. It is living, moving, breathing, and having its being in, through, and as each one of us, because it is the very who of who we are. We are just beautiful, individualized expressions of love. Right? So when we say love lives here, it is a constant reminder of who we are. And so when we bring our full selves, when we bring love to whatever is appearing outside of us, when we bring love to our fears, those internal fears, when we bring love, we don't need a coping mechanism. We don't need all these basic strategies. When we bring love to it and we just fully be present with who we are and what we are and be fully present with love, then all the fears, all this business out here disappears. It dissolves. Love, then, is the ultimate fear buster. The fear simply breaks up. It dissolves back into the nothingness from which it came. Because there is nothing, there is no law, there is no power maintaining and sustaining fear. Because love is all there is. Love is all there is. And so when we bring our full selves, when we bring this love to whatever the situation is, then we can, instead of forgetting everything and running, right? We can face everything and rise. We face the fear. We turn toward it and we bring our full selves. We bring love to it and then it dissolves. So if fear is false evidence appearing real, F-E-A-R, then the solution too is face everything and rise, F-E-A-R. Unless, of course, you're being chased by a bear, in which case it's forget everything and run, F-E-A-R. Or you're needing to escape from an airplane, leave your belongings, run, jump, help at the bottom, right? You don't carry your Merle Norman bag, like, okay, I'm going to take this with me. No, it's like, leave everything, right? Forget everything and run when we're in certain situations, because fear is helpful in certain situations. But we have a tendency to want to live there. We have a tendency to see the world as a fearful place and so fear then leads to lack, fear then leads to limitation, fear then leads to hoarding, fear then leads to withholding, because there's not enough, is the false belief. But yet when we approach it and we realize, love, delicious, yummy love, then there's nothing to fear. Nothing's being withheld. There is no bad. There is no good. There just the isness, which is love. And that, my beloveds, is the ultimate freedom. Love, then, is freedom. And then when we experience freedom, we experience joy. We experience peace. We experience harmony. And I know you're sitting there going, okay, yeah, Jeff, that sounds really good. But have you met me? Do you know my life? Do you know what the heck is going on with me right now? All this is good in theory. Tell me to love myself. Okay, I can do that, but maybe I'll do that tomorrow, because right now I'm scared. I'm in fear. There's something going on right now that you just don't understand, Jeff. And so what do we do here at Centers for Spiritual Living? What is our mission? We teach practical tools, practical spiritual tools that we can apply to our lives for personal and global transformation. And what are we doing here this whole year? We are making sure that we highlight the tools. So are you ready for a transformation tool, Allison? Yet? You got your journal? Are you ready, Leslie, for your transformation tool? Got your journal? All right, here we go. Got your journal. All right, I see all those journals go, whoop. All right, here we go. Here's the transformation tool that we're going to work with today. It's the Fear to Faith tool. And so the Fear to Faith tool will be on the website later on this afternoon, so you can download the worksheet. So relax. Don't get all worried that already we're in fear. It's like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to remember what they're going to say. I don't know if we're going to remember what we're going to do. I don't know if I can do this process because I don't know. Whew. Let that stuff go. LTSG. Only you can substitute the S for whatever word you want. So let that stuff go. All right, so breathe in, take a nice deep breath in. We trust and we know that Spirit's got us, yes? All right. So I invite you to just think of or allow to come into your consciousness something that is troubling you right now, a challenge that you may be experiencing right now. And just sense into it, feel a little bit of the feeling. You don't have to do a deep dive. Just sense into it and feel a little bit of the feeling of the challenge. All right. Now I would like for you to imagine what it is that you hope is the outcome, the best outcome for this situation, whatever the situation is. Go ahead and imagine the best outcome for the situation. Like really visualize it. Really use your power of imagination and visualize what is the highest outcome. If this works out the way I want it to work out, what is that going to look like? What is that going to look like? And what is that going to feel like? How is that going to feel within me? What's it going to feel like? Projecting out into that yummy goodness. Seeing it the way I really would love for this to resolve. And really tapping into what that feels like. Creating that feeling. Experience that feeling in your body. And so if that feeling Think of that feeling perhaps as a quality or an aspect of the divine, because who is it? It's you, right? So what is that feeling tone? What aspect of the divine? Is it abundance or balance or beauty? Is it freedom or joy or love? Is it order or peace or power? Is it unity, wholeness, wisdom? What is that feeling? What is that one quality of the divine that is so present in that feeling? What is that feeling if you had to identify it with one quality of the divine? Make a mental note of that feeling. Make a mental note of that word of the divine. Breathe it in, all the way down to the tips of your toes, all the way out through your fingertips, all the way out through the top of your head. That quality of the divine, that feeling. Now, carrying that with you, what is it that you fear would happen if this situation doesn't resolve the way you want it to resolve? What do you fear will happen? Now I ask you this next question. What is the belief? What is the thing? What is that false belief? What is that thing, that belief that is behind that fear? Perhaps it's a fear, perhaps it is a lack. Perhaps it's conflict, limitation, ignorance, rejection, chaos, judgment, dependency, disease, poverty. What is that word of error? One word that is the belief behind this fear. Again, just gentle with yourself. Spirit's got you. So we have the word of the divine, that wonderful feeling, and now we have this word of error, this false belief that we've bought into. Now the next question I have for you is, when you've encountered this word of error before, when you've encountered the lack or the conflict or the limitation or whatever that word is, when you've encountered that before, how have you resisted it? What is your coping mechanism? What is the thing that you do? How is it that you behave? What is that way of resisting experiencing that word of error, that false belief? What is the coping mechanism that you engage in? Perhaps the coping mechanism is control or hiding or anger or being attached, or perhaps it's fleeing or appeasing or whining or confusion or loss or withdrawal or rebellion, confrontation or compassion or empathy. What is that word of resistance? Got it? So what we see is that we know that we are the Word of the divine. We know that we are one with the one. And yet when we experience fear, the belief behind the fear in this situation, we experience that and we know that that's a word of error. And when we are experiencing that word of error, we try to soothe ourselves. We try to adjust things. We try to shift things so that we don't have to experience that fear. We don't have to experience that. We try to adjust things, and we do that with our word of resistance, with that action or that behavior of resistance. And when we meet this, we try to do something else. We try to do something different. Got all those three words? All right, so breathe in. And out. And I invite you to come back to this space. And I invite you to center back into the quality of the divine. What's that highest word that you came up with? Things are going the best you want them to be, right? The result that you are wanting to experience, and there was that quality of the divine. What is that quality of the divine that you're wanting to experience? For those of you online, go ahead and type that into chat. Or into the comment section, let us know what is the quality of the divine that you are receiving and accepting and knowing for yourself this day so that we can know it with you. And let's hear them in the room. What is the highest quality that you're accepting today, that you're receiving today? Bliss, love, peace, freedom, trust, calm, prosperity, grace. Right? All right. Let's see here. At home, folks are saying freedom, love. Absolutely. And you guys can keep bringing it to us here online as well. So this is what we're going to accept, yes? But before, as we enjoy, great, Suzanne, as we know that in order to be able to first accept and receive something, we've got to do what? We've got to open to it, right? So if we're holding on to something, we got to let it go. We've got to release it. So we're going to do a little release. Shall we do a little release? All right. Fantastic. So with your left arm, I'm going to mirror for you. So with your left arm, there you go. Say, I release my belief in, and then whatever your word is. Here we go. I release my belief in. Okay. I release my need to, whatever your word of resistance is. So here we go. I release my need to, whatever that word is. Okay, so try again. Here we go. Check them out. I release my belief in. I release my need to. Okay. And then we're going to reach up over our heads. I am grateful that spirit is, whatever your divine quality is, love, peace, joy, calm, prosperity, great hair, okay? So I am grateful, spirit is, word, that I am. So we're bringing that to ourselves, bringing that into ourselves. So let's do it all together. You ready? Here we go. I release my belief in. I release my need to. I am grateful that spirit is that I am. And so it is. All right. So all this is going to be available to you online. Isn't that great? So you can work through the worksheet online later on this afternoon. You can work through that worksheet and you can work it all week long. So this is a powerful tool. So what I invite you to do with this is, when we were talking about, all right, so love is the ultimate fear buster, right? Well, that seems like really big. And if you're telling me like, okay, I just need to remember my oneness with God, and I need to remember my oneness with myself, and need to remember my oneness with everybody else, and then I'm in a state of love, and then, that breaks through fear. That can seem really big, but what I love about this process, this fear to faith process, is it breaks it down. It breaks it down to what's in front of me right now. I'm worried that there won't be enough coffee. What is that belief rooted in? What is my hope for? My hope is that there is plenty of coffee. Wow. All right. So what is the spirit? What is the word of spirit that I'm like working with there? Abundance, flow, perhaps, right? Yeah. And so then what am I really worried about? It's like, oh, I don't know, there's not enough coffee. Last time there wasn't enough coffee. And, I'm really believing the word of error that I'm believing is that there is not enough. That there's not enough. Not only is there not enough, there's not enough for me. There was enough for you, but there's not enough for me. So now I've personalized that there's not enough coffee for me. And so what am I going to do? I'm going to run out there before all y'all get out there. And I'm going to get my own coffee before anybody else gets coffee. Forget hugging you. No, I want my coffee. So I release my belief that there's not enough coffee for me. I release my need to control the situation and get mine before you get yours. And I know that God is the coffee and the abundance that I am, right? You see how easy that is in a day-to-day thing? Yeah, it's just an easy little process. And sometimes we want to make it harder. It's like, oh, let me work on my mommy issues today. It doesn't have to be about that. Just like if you just notice yourself, like, ooh, feeling a little jittery. It's like, wait a minute. What's the situation? What's going on here? What's the highest thing I know? What's really operating? What is the best outcome that I could imagine? Find that God quality. What is the fear that's going on here? What's the little belief that I've got behind that? No, this cannot be. So then I do this thing over here. That is really not really helpful in the long run, because then I just like a jerk, like pushing everybody out of the way for coffee, right? So that's not really good either. And so then I just release all that. And I trust and I know that when I get out there, there'll be coffee. And if there's not, guess what? It's not the end of the world. Starbucks is down the street. But I know that James and the crew have made coffee, and there's plenty of coffee for everyone. Right? Simple. That's what I'm talking about. These are tools, these are transformation tools that we can live in our everyday life, and it helps us live everyday wonder. And then when we do encounter the bigger stuff, the big stuff, I don't want to look at that today stuff. When we do encounter the big stuff, we've built the muscle through the tools like, hey, I got this. I know what to do. I know the process. Let me apply this tool so that I can get myself right in the head. I can get myself right in my heart. I get myself right in life. And return to, you know what? Love is all there is. And there's nothing to fear. And so it is. All right, beloveds. I invite our practitioners and our core council to please stand and surround the sanctuary as we come into consciousness together, shall we? All right, so I recognize here and now that there simply is just this one, and this day I know, and every day I know it as love. That it withholds nothing, that it is the ever-givingness of spirit, it is the energy of spirit, it is the life of spirit, it is the way of spirit, it is love. Love is all that there is, and from this love, love so loved itself that it brought forth even more love as the divine emanations and impartations, as the divine manifestation of this love. It brought forth creation. It brought forth individualized expressions of itself so that it knows itself as love in greater and more expressive and more expansive ways. And so I know that who I am is love. I could be nothing other than love. That the purpose of my life is to express and be the power and the presence of love right here and right now. And as I know that this is true of me, I know that this is true of all of life, of all of creation. That there's only one action, only one activity, and that action and activity is love. There's only one life. That life is love. And so I recognize my brothers, my sisters, my siblings on this journey as being love itself as well. So therefore, I recognize my oneness with all. I recognize the who of who I am is reflected back in everything I see. That all are one, that all are love, that all is this love made manifest, this love in full, glorious, beautiful expression. And so I have nothing to fear. There is nothing to fear because where love is present, there is no fear. There is nothing to fear because what I know is that fear is just false evidence appearing real when I have forgotten who I really am, which is love. And so I just return my consciousness. I return to this place of love, to this place of knowing, to this place of experiencing freedom, this place of experiencing bliss, this place of experiencing peace, of harmony, of joy. And I recognize that the ultimate goal of life is the complete emancipation from discord of every nature. And this is done through and as love. And so I remember that something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called love. Love is in my mind. Love is in my body. Love is in everything I do. I am it. I am it. So I share it, I receive it, and I move it forward because I know that love lives here, lives right here within me, because that is the who of who I am. So I release any idea of fear, any idea of lack, any idea of limitation, any idea that is unlike this love, allowing it to return to the nothingness from which it came, allowing that it does not serve love, does not serve the highest and best. So I simply return to love. I return to love. And I return to love again. And I give thanks for this. I give thanks for this knowing. I give thanks for this awareness. I give thanks for this beloved community that allows us to come together as love and move it out into greater and more expansive ways into the world. So I release this into the law, knowing that it is fulfilled through love. I let it be, and so it is.
When darkness closes in, you can't find your way. The doubts you drag around only seem to say, how can you make it on your own? Remember, you're never alone. And lean into me, I will raise you up. Gather your faith and we'll walk on water, and hold out your hand when you can go on. Just let go and lean into me. Longing to be filled with peace that overflows, to hear my quiet voice. Just be still and know, and every sacred silence, it's only a whisper away. And lean into me, I will raise you up. Gather your faith and we'll walk on water. Hold out your hand when you can't go on. Just let go and lean into me. With every leap of faith comes the risk you may slip and stumble. but leave what you know behind. Out on the edge you'll find I won't let you fall. Lean into me, I will raise you up. Gather your faith and we'll walk on water, and hold out your hand when you can't go on. Let go and lean into me. Just let go and lean into me. Lean into me. Lean into me.
Woo-hoo. A little love letter from Spirit there for you, all right? All right, so our beloveds in service this morning as they're coming forward, receiving on behalf of the congregation is practitioner Jeannie Kataoka, and collecting on behalf of the congregation this morning is Frank Conley and Cindy Lambert. So I invite you to take out what you're choosing to contribute this morning, recognizing that contributing is a way of participating in the law of circulation, participating in the flow. And what we know is that when we are contributing and we're texting with one another, what it is that we're actually texting each other. So one of the easiest ways to contribute is via text to give. Simply text 951-419-5858. Type in the amount you're choosing to contribute and hit send. It's just like texting a friend because that's who we are texting. We're texting one another. We're texting each other and we're sharing the love with one another. So I'm sending love right now to Cindy. Boom, there we go. All right. So, and another easy way to contribute is online on our website. Up in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see the word contribute. You can contribute there. Makes it nice and easy, or you contribute here in the sanctuary. So whatever you're choosing to contribute, I invite you to hold that over your heart space. And let's say this affirmation together. I give and receive freely and generously with an open heart and an open mind. The universe responds to me in kind. I know that my beloved community is richly blessed, and so it is.
All that's good that's come from above and below. I am that, I am that. All the joy and love that a life can behold. I am that, I am that. All that's good, all that's good. All that's good that flows from above and below. I am that, I am that. All the joy and love that a life can behold. I am that, I am that. All that's good, all that's good. All that's good, all that's good, all that's good.
So just a couple of announcements before I push you and shove you out of the way to go get coffee. No, I'm kidding. Before we go out to get coffee. So just a couple of announcements. The first one is our new member class is coming up. Our new member class, it starts next Sunday. It's for next Sunday and the following Sunday, the 20th and the 27th. That'll be from 4 to 6 p.m. on Zoom. And then our new member Sunday celebration will be on Sunday, March 6th, right here during our morning gathering. So if you are wanting to explore the path of membership, if you're curious about what membership means for you here at Riverside Center for Spiritual Living. I know some of you have been part of our family for years and years and years, and you're just ready to take that next step into membership, and some of you are newer to the community and you're ready to step into membership perhaps. I invite you to come to this class. We'll be learning about each other and exploring what it really means to be a member. With all the rights and privileges and responsibilities of being a member of Riverside Center for Spiritual Living. So that's coming up. And then the other class that's coming up is our mental equivalence class. And so mental equivalence starts in March. It starts on March 6th and runs through April 3rd. And that will also be on Zoom. And that is also from 4 to 6 p.m. And that is 5 weeks. And so that's the mental equivalent. That is setting a new cause into motion by setting a new mental idea, a new thought into motion. So we invite you to join that class as well. I want to remind folks that our beloved practitioners throughout the week do facilitate meditation every morning, Monday through Saturday at 8 a.m. on Zoom. It's really easy to join. You just click the link on the website that says morning meditation and join them for meditation. They love being able to be with you. So there's availability there's a time of meditation, and then there's also a time for prayer at that same time. So right immediately following the meditation. So join us during the morning. Make it part of your spiritual practice. If you're available at 8 a.m., join them online for meditation and prayer. And we're always done by 8:30. We don't ever go longer than that. So come as you're able, and it's different practitioners each week, or not each week, each day. There are different practitioners. So there's 5 or 6, 7 practitioners that are helping, 8 practitioners who are helping to facilitate that. So take advantage of it. They're here for you. They're here to love you up and support you. Don't forget that there's prayer available in the prayer room out in the lobby immediately following service as well. All right? Yeah? All right, you're all ready. Like, I just want my coffee, Jeff. All right, I invite you to stand. Here we go. Let's say this week's affirmation together, shall we? I am brave. All right, let's try it again. All right. I'll say it, then you say it after me. Here we go. I am brave. I am courageous. I am love. Let's put it all together. I am brave. I am courageous. I am love. Yes, so something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called love. Love is in my mind. Love is in my body. Love is in everything I do. I share it. I receive it. And I move love forward. Because love lives here. Happy Sunday. Let's sing it, shall we?
Something wonderful is happening through me right now. It's this thing called love. Love is in my mind. Love is in my body. Love is in everything I do. I am it, I share it, receive it. When I move it forward, because love lives here. Love lives here.
Something wonderful is happening to me right now.
It's this thing called love. Love is in my mind. Love is in my body. Love is in everything I do. I am it, I share it, receive it.
And I move it forward because love lives here. rock out. You ready? I will stand for love.
I will stand for love. 'Cause I know I can be strong for love.
I love Dennis.
Yes, I know I can be strong for love.
I will
stand for truth.
I will
Stand for truth. 'Cause I know I can be strong for truth. Yes, I know I can be strong for truth.
Here we go, joy.
I will stand for joy. I will stand for joy. 'Cause I know I can be strong for joy. Yes, I know I can be strong for joy.
Here we go, peace.
I will stand for peace. I will stand for peace. 'Cause I know I can be strong for peace. Yes, I know I can be strong for peace.
God, here we go.
I will stand for God.
Yes, I will.
I will stand for God.
We will, yeah.
No, I can be strong for God.
God, for God.
Yes, I know I can be strong for God.
Last time, love. I will stand for love. I will stand for love.
'Cause I know I can be strong for love. Yes, I know I can be strong for love.
Yay! Happy Sunday, happy Super Bowl, whatever. I don't know anything about football. Yay! Love